Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I have my June TBR video and I have a lot of books on here that I am really excited to read, and I also am really proud of myself because I read 6 books from my May TBR video. I usually don't stick to TBR videos ever, so I was very proud of myself and I think that you should be proud of me too. So alright, let's get into what I want to read in June. So the first book, and the book that I'm really excited about, is the Rake Appreciation Society book pick for June, and it is Indigo by Beverly Jenkins. This is the Rake Appreciation Society is a book club that I host with my friend Jen from the Book Refuge. We do a historical romance book every month, and then we have a live show, usually on the second Thursday of the month here on my channel, but in June it will be the third Thursday, so it will be June 17th. It will be at 6 p.m. MST and 7 p.m. CDT. I guess it would be MDT, Mountain Time. 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 7 p.m. CD time. It will be here on my channel. That's when we will have the live show discussion, and I'm very excited about this. This is one of my favorite historical romances. It's beautiful, and I hope that you decide to read it with us. So super excited to read this with everyone and talk about it. Okay, and then a book that I have decided to carry over instead of putting all of the books that I didn't read. One book that I want to carry over into this month's TBR is one that I'm pretty disappointed that I didn't get to, and I think it was just that I didn't prioritize it and ran out of time. And that book is The Pool Boy by Nikki Sloan. I really want to read this. I've heard wonderful things, and I think I'm going to love it. So this is carrying over into my June TBR. Okay, and then I have some arcs that I have to read and a new release that I am very excited about. So these arcs, the 3 arcs that I have, 2 release in June 29th I believe, and then 1 releases the first Tuesday in July. So they are A Duke in Time by Jana McGregor. This is a historical romance. I have never read this author before, but I'm very excited to give it a try. I have high expectations for that. And another arc that I have is The Devil and the Heiress by Harper St. George. This is the second book in her Gilded Age historical romance series. I did read the first one, The Heiress Gets a Duke, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I thought this author had a lot of promise, so I'm really excited to read this one, and I hope that I love it. And the third arc that I have is actually a fantasy romance, and it is called Capture the Crown by Jennifer Estep. I have not read any of her works before, and this book is the one that releases in July. I'm hoping that I love it. I really don't know too much about it other than that it is a fantasy romance, so excited about that one. And then the new release that I have is, of course, Reel by Kennedy Ryan. This is released on June 8th, I believe, and I am very excited about it. This is a Hollywood Renaissance romance, and I think that I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I am very hyped for this. Can't wait. This is probably one of my most anticipated reads of this year, and I am dying to read it. Can't wait for this. So, alright, let's get into the other books that I want to read. So, I have been making my way through the Raveel series by Lisa Kleypas. Look at this dummy. I bought this online, not realizing that it was a large print, and I haven't replaced it yet. And yes, it does drive me nuts. Does it drive you bonkers? Because anyway, I have these 4 books to read to get caught up in the Raveel series to prepare for Devil in Disguise, which is the next book. It's Lisa Kleypas' new book that comes out in July. I don't remember the date, but I'm very excited for that. So I need to read these so I can be all caught up to read that, because that book will be our August book pick for the Rake Appreciation Society. So I'm very excited about that. So I have Devil in Spring, which is book number 3, Hello Stranger, book number 4, Devil's Daughter, book number 5, and then Chasing Cassandra, which is book number 6. So these books are definitely going to happen, and I have the audio for all of them, so I just need to make a week of just reading all of these, and then I will be ready. Okay, and these books are just books that I just really want to read. I don't necessarily have to read them for any reason. These are just books that I've been eyeing, or that I have either on Audible or that have been on my shelves, and I just I need to read that. So these are the books that I just really want to get to. So the first one is The Stopover by T.L. Swan. I read The Takeover in May, and I absolutely loved it. It is one of my favorite books of the year. I know that this one in general seems to be not as well loved as The Takeover, so I'm kind of going in with low expectations, and I wanted to give myself a little bit of a break after I read The Takeover and loved it so much before I jumped into this one. I believe that this all has to do with, like, the brothers. So Tristan's brother is the hero, and I believe this is a relationship that starts in a one-night stand. I'm very excited. I really enjoyed The Takeover, so I'm hopeful. I have hopes that I will like this one a lot. Okay, another book that I really want to read is Mission Improper by Beck McMaster. I have just been reading her fantasy romance books this year, Promise of Darkness, and I think, not Crown of Midnight, Crown of something, I can't remember. I have been reading her, which is about, like, the Fae. It's a fantasy romance series. Was super impressed with it. Gave both of those books 5 stars, and I have wanted to read more of her work. So this, I think, is her steampunk series, which I really haven't read steampunk in a very long time, but I've heard really good things about this, and I have the book on Audible, so I'm excited to give it a try. And yeah, I think this author is an underrated gem, and I'm excited to read this book. Okay, another book that I really want to read is Ruthless Stranger by Maggie Cole. This is a book that was suggested to me by Jen from the Book Refuge. She thinks that I would really like it, so I'm very excited about this one. I know this is a mafia romance, and there is an age gap between the hero and the heroine, and I believe the hero is like 46 and the heroine is like 30... late 30s, I think, maybe 38, maybe 36, I can't remember, but there's a little bit of an age gap there, and I really like that it is dealing with, you know, not like a 19 virginal character. Like, I love the idea of having more mature romances like this. Like, I feel ick saying that because I don't feel like late 30s and 40s is like senior citizen status by any means, but it's certainly different from the 19-year-old that is typically in mafia romances. So I'm really excited about that one, have very high expectations, cannot wait to read it. Okay, the next book that I really want to read is Marriage for One by Ella Mays. This book is, I think there is a lot of pining in here. I'm sure that you have read this. Like, I feel like everyone in Romancelandia has read this but me. I've had this on my TBR for a very long time, and I have really high expectations for it. I think that I'm going to love it. I have high hopes that I will. This was gifted to me by Morgan from Nothing Better Than a Book for my birthday, and I think I'm going to love it. So definitely going to read this. I have the audio for it. I'm excited. Okay, and then I have 3 historicals that I really want to get to that I have the audiobook for, and they're just books that have been sitting on my shelves, and I'm like, why have I not read that? So I picked them up when I was going to film this video because I'm like, I have to read that. So the first one is 3 Nights by Deborah Mullins. So this book came to me in a mystery box that I bought last year when everybody was buying those, and I still have so many of the books that I haven't read yet, so that's one of the reasons that I picked this up. Another reason is that the audio for this is included in your Audible membership if you have an Audible, I think is it Audible Prime, Audible Premium, I don't know. The audio is included, and so I definitely want to read that, but the main reason why I want to read this is I have had a subscriber who has told me several times that she really wants me to love this and to read it because she thinks that I will love it. So I'm excited. I found the audio. I'm finally going to give it a go. So thank you for suggesting this book for me. Let's hope that I love it. And look at that old school cover. Isn't it beautiful? I adore it. I'm going to read you the back of this because it sounds really interesting. With the turn of the cards, her father is ruined and innocent Evelyn Stoddard is lost. To honor the gambling debt, she agrees to submit for 3 nights to Lucien de Ferron's every desire. But the time passes all too quickly, and when the debt is paid, the handsome devil vanishes. So I think that sounds really fun and really interesting, and I've been seeing Deborah Mullins a lot, just her name pop up here and there, and I just figured that it's time for me to read one of her books, so I think I'm gonna love it. Okay, and I cannot believe I haven't finished this series yet, because I liked the first book, loved the second book. It was one of my favorite books of last year, and that is The Devil of Downtown by Joanna Shupe. This is the 3rd book in her Uptown Girls series. Joanna Shupe is an author that I will sometimes just absolutely love and adore, and other times she's a bit of a miss for me. So I have really high expectations for this. I hope I'm gonna love it. I know she can deliver. Let's hope she does it with this one. And the last book that I want to read is one from an author that is on my must-read list that I haven't read yet, and that is When Beauty Tamed the Beast by Eloisa James. I love Eloisa James' personality. I haven't read one of her books yet, and this is the one that I decided to start with because I love me a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So, alright, that is my June TBR. Let me know if there are any of these books that you think I should prioritize first, and let me know what you're going to be reading in June. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.